Welcome to your week in review here on WINN FM 98.9 for the period May 19th through 24th. Making the news last week, Government of St. Kitts and Nevis sends essential supplies to students in Cuba. Financial scams in St. Kitts and Nevis, an expanding threat to hard-earned savings.
Nevis Culturama 51 Committee launches calendar of activities, selects Halstead Sooty Byron as patron. St. Kitts Junior Minister of Tourism 2025, Mary Shelford, shares initiatives for a more enhanced regional aviation industry. St. Kitts Nevis government bolster prison legislation in almost 70 years.
St. Kitts and Nevis embraces CARICOM environmental policy framework and ocean governance mechanism. Foreign Affairs Minister, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas, highlights grave security crisis hindering Haiti's democratic progress. St. Kitts Nevis Attorney General highlights justice reform and calls for international cooperation at United Nations Crime Commission.
Loud calls made at St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party's 2025 convention for Dr. Denzel Douglas to be knighted.
Police Commissioner James Sutton addresses misinformation and infrastructure challenges in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Now, the details. On May 20th, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis took a significant step to support its nationals pursuing education abroad by facilitating the shipment of a 20-foot container filled with essential supplies to the Republic of Cuba. The thoughtful initiative was coordinated through the Prime Minister's office in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, reflecting the government's ongoing commitment to the welfare of its citizens overseas. The container includes a variety of care packages carefully assembled to ensure the students' comfort and well-being. Among the items dispatched are water, personal hygiene products, dry food, medical supplies, batteries, and other necessary provisions that might otherwise be difficult to access in Cuba under normal circumstances. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, et al., the Right Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas, spoke at the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA headquarters, where the items were packed. He emphasized the importance of the government's efforts, stating,
"As we gather to do some goodwill for the people of Cuba, especially the St. Kitts and Nevis students who are studying in the Republic of Cuba at this time, what we're doing is really sending to them some important daily and relief supplies, foodstuff, toiletries, items that they are going to be using on a daily basis and which may be difficult to obtain in Cuba under normal circumstances."
Dr. Douglas expressed gratitude to all parties involved in the successful organization and shipment, acknowledging the coordination of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the support of TDC, the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, and NEMA for providing the packing facility. He also recognized the invaluable labor of inmates who packed the goods and thanked parents for their generous contributions.
I want to thank the parents as well, who have made significant donations and contributions to make this a success.
Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew also expressed appreciation for the collective effort, highlighting the role of the Prime Minister's office in acquiring a substantial portion of the provisions. Having graduated from a Cuban university, Dr. Drew underscored this gesture's personal and national significance.
This effort of sending these very vital supplies to Cuba was coordinated by Foreign Affairs. I want to thank all the others who were involved, including who the Foreign Minister would have thanked, but I also want to thank the Prime Minister's office for purchasing a large quantity of goods and supplies for our students in Cuba. As you know, I'm a Cuban graduate, and therefore this one, in addition to really helping our citizens and also helping, I would say, fellow alumni of the Cuban Association. And this effort is really to help them while they are pursuing their studies in Cuba to return to St. Kitts and Nevis to contribute to national development.
This initiative marks another chapter in the enduring relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and Cuba. It highlights the Federation's unwavering support for its students and a dedication to promoting education as a cornerstone of national progress. By addressing the practical needs of its citizens abroad, the government reinforces its pledge to safeguard their welfare and foster strong ties of friendship and cooperation within the Caribbean region. The residents of St. Kitts and Nevis are witnessing an alarming surge in financial scams, which have left many victims globally financially devastated. In a recent episode of ECCB Connects, Alusha Faisal, CEO of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission, ECSRC, shed light on this growing menace, emphasizing the importance of awareness and vigilance among the public.
More and more, people are being tricked out of their hard-earned money by schemes like Creative Alliance and others that look sweet on the outside, but leave victims broke and broken.
Explained Shanna Derrick from the Corporation Relations Department as she introduced the discussion on ECCB Connects. Faisal defined a financial scam as
any deceptive practice or fraudulent scheme that is aimed at tricking someone or persons into giving up their money or sensitive financial information.
She clarified that such scams fall under the broader category of financial fraud, which involves illegal activities designed to deceive individuals for monetary gain. Among the scams discussed, investment fraud remains prevalent, notably those promising
high returns with little to no risk, and they often involve fake investments or securities.
Phishing scams involving fake emails, texts, or websites to extract personal information were also highlighted as common tactics. These were alongside fake prize scams that lure victims with lottery or sweepstakes winnings contingent upon upfront payments. One specific scam affecting the region is the Creators Alliance, a pyramid scheme involving recruiting members who invested money converted into cryptocurrency. Participants were promised rewards for watching copyrighted videos, with recruitment being a key element of the scheme, distinguishing it from Ponzi schemes that do not rely on recruitment. Faisal pointed out crucial red flags with such scams: a lack of authorization, unbelievably high and quick returns, and the requirement to recruit others to increase earnings. The ECSRC has underscored the critical need for individuals to trust but verify, advising people to confirm whether those offering financial opportunities are licensed by regulatory authorities such as the ECSRC or national financial regulators.
So every investment comes with the possibility that you can lose some or all of your investment. So that is why we have persons available who the Commission licenses that are able to assist you in making your investment decisions.
The human element of trust poses challenges. Often, scammers exploit relationships. They can be close friends or even church members. Faisal advised that individuals must verify claims through official channels, regardless of personal ties, and never accept promises of risk-free, quick profits. Education also plays a vital role in prevention.
We need to find out what a scam is, what exactly you need to look out for when you are approached by these unsuspecting persons, because they themselves may not know that it is a scam, and they believe that it's something good that they're bringing to you. So you have to be a little more conscious and be able to make sure that you do all your homework and do all the verification that is necessary.
Modern technology tools have introduced new complexities. Fraudsters now use artificial intelligence to mimic voices and images, enhancing the sophistication of scams. Traditional phishing attacks remain widespread, targeting victims' account information, while cryptocurrency-related fraud, as seen in the collapse of the entities like FTX, has also been a significant concern in the Caribbean. If someone suspects they have been scammed, Faisal emphasizes prompt action.
You go to the police, because it is in most countries that type of activity is criminal or is criminalized. You can go to the Financial Intelligence Unit to verify and to also make a report.
The ECSRC provides a complaints portal on its website where victims can confidently report fraudulent activities confidentially for investigation and action. Faisal's key message to the public is unequivocal.
If somebody comes to you and tells you that they can double your money in quick time, that is already a scam.
She urged everyone to empower themselves with knowledge, fully utilize regulatory resources, and verify claims to protect their finances and well-being.
The Nevis Culturama Festival Committee kicked off the momentum for Culturama 51, selling a festival that ranged from electrifying soca teasers to unforgettable parades, high-energy competitions, and cultural showcases. The Nevis Culturama Festival, coined as the Caribbean's greatest summer lime, is slated for June 6 to August 5, 2025. The pre-activities for Culturama 51 run from June 6 to July 23 and will feature soca teasers, bar crawls, and the reveal of senior pageant contestants. A variety of fringe activities were confirmed for Culturama 51. They include Heatwave Wet Fete on July 12, Tropics on July 26, 5-in-1 Wet Fete on August 2, and horseback racing on August 3, among other events. The marquee events on the lineup span July 24 to August 5, beginning with the official opening of the festival. The Miss Culture Swimwear and Mr. Cool contest were scheduled for July 27, 2025. On July 29, the Mr. and Miss Talented Youth pageant will be held at the Nidax Cultural Complex. The Soca Manak contest and the TDC Kaisu competition will be held on July 31 and August 1 respectively, and the highly anticipated Emancipation Juve Jump Up was scheduled for August 4, 2025. The full calendar of activities for Culturama 51 was posted on the official Facebook page, Nevis Culturama Festival. Meanwhile, a culture enthusiast and pioneer, Mr. Halstead Suti Byron, was selected as the Nevis Culturama 51 patron. The festival's committee hailed him as a cultural warrior, educator, and keeper of Nevisian tradition. Mr. Byron's legacy involves decades of work in heritage, youth empowerment, and community development. The Nevis Culturama Festival was established in the summer of 1974 by the Nevis Dramatic and Cultural Society, NEDAX. Over the years, it has continuously evolved into one of the region's premier summer events. At a media launch on May 20, Swain Evelyn, chairperson of the Culturama 51 committee, gave an overview of the festival, its purpose, and its offerings.
It's a celebration of heritage, showcasing traditional folk arts, and is held on Emancipation Day weekend. The goal then was to revive and preserve Nevisian traditions as they were declining. Over the years, we have realized the evolution of culture even while our traditions remain the same. Consequently, the committee tries to balance our celebrations to appeal to the younger persons as well as our immigrant populations who have made Nevis their home.
The guiding theme for the 2025 edition of Culturama is Nevisian Pride, second to none, Culturama 51. The theme was penned by Onisha Hunt, a resident of Hamilton Estate. One of the biggest barriers to intra-regional travel is the high ticket cost, a concern raised by countless regional travelers. Mary Shelford, the 2025-2026 Junior Minister of Tourism St. Kitts, discussed the key focal points to enhance the travel experiences to the region in her argument at the 2025 Youth Congress. Shelford anticipated a future with a cleaner, greener air transport system. Notably, in recent years, there has been an evident shift towards sustainability in the aviation industry, particularly driven by the growing awareness of its environmental impacts and the critical importance of addressing the climate crisis. Shelford identified a range of initiatives to ensure a sustainable and green aviation industry in the region.
First, we must adopt sustainable aviation and green infrastructure. Electric, hydrogen, and biofuel aircrafts can reduce carbon emissions and operating costs. Tax incentives for airlines using green technologies would support this shift, thus making flights more affordable for all. Traditional aircrafts and many outdated regional airports pollute heavily, harming our ecosystems, leading to high operational costs and contributing to health challenges. But with investment in sustainable aviation fuel, regional airlines can lead in eco-friendly innovation. Our airports must evolve too, taking inspiration from right here in St. Kitts Solar Panel Farm. Airports across the region should adopt solar power, water recycling, and energy-efficient systems to reduce environmental impact.
Advancements in smart technology continue to reshape the way people experience travel and the decisions that airlines make. In her presentation, the St. Kitts Junior Minister of Tourism shared an idea to ensure a more seamless and hassle-free experience for travelers.
Next, we must use technology for smarter travel. A regional app with the use of blockchain could make booking, paying, and checking flight schedules much easier and more secure. Smart systems such as Honeywell Forge use artificial intelligence to help planes use less fuel by choosing better routes. Sensors on aircrafts can spot problems easily, reducing delays, hence making travel simpler, faster, and more reliable for everyone.
Sustainable tourism links to sustainable economic growth. Shelford said more needs to be done to empower people and ensure that environmental and social impacts are considered to bolster regional economies.
Most importantly, we must empower our people. Green aviation training and smart airport management prepares the next generation of regional leaders. Green infrastructure creates local jobs, strengthens search and maintenance sectors, and attracts global investment. With tourism expected to contribute nearly $59 billion to regional GDP by 2028, a sustainable air transport system will be essential to long-term economic success.
The junior minister argued that change is worthwhile to ensure a more connected Caribbean region. The Prison Amendment Act 2025 was passed in the St. Kitts and Nevis National Assembly on Thursday, May 15, heralding a new day and a new way to address major concerns relating to the country's correctional facilities. There has been much concern in recent years, particularly about contrabands being smuggled into His Majesty's prison in Bastille. During a prison raid in July 2024, a wide variety of contraband was found, including mobile phones, SIM cards, chargers, drugs, scissors, sponge, among other things. There were also reports of persons attempting to throw contraband over the prison walls. As a result of the smuggling of contraband into the prison, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force also made several arrests of persons who were found in breach of the law, including a few prison officers. The Prison Act, originally enacted in 1956, almost 70 years ago, became outdated in some areas, hence the need for proactive law revision. The amendments to the Prison Act highlighted increased penalties for the smuggling and possession of contraband in prison and strengthened security in prison by expanding the list of prohibited contraband to include pharmaceutical drugs, mobile phones, SIM cards, and weapons. Mover of the bill, Prime Minister and Minister responsible for national security, Dr. Terence Drew, outlined the provision of the amendment and shared what the country is seeking to achieve with the changes.
So this bill makes three big changes, Madam Speaker. One, it increases the fine for smuggling from $1,000 to $50,000. We are serious about this, Madam Speaker. It increases the possible prison sentence from 6 months to 10 years in prison, Madam Speaker. And it broadens the list of banned items to include mobile phones. Back then when this law was put in place, which is so long ago, we didn't have no mobile phones. We have mobile phones now. SIM cards, they didn't exist then. And the obvious ones like knives, drugs, and other items that have become common in criminal networks. These changes will make our prisons safer and they will help to stop any nefarious activities behind bars. The only activities we want behind bars, Madam Speaker, are activities of rehabilitation, and then that would, of course, increase your possibility of a successful reintegration into our society.
Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, Senator Garth Wilkin, welcomed the amended legislation. He believed that the time had come to tighten up the penalties, deter organized crime originating within the prison, protect prisoners and prison officers, and ensure public safety. A more impactful piece of Wilkin's argument highlighted that a breakdown or gaps within the prison system and its linkage to organized crime is a cross-cutting threat to sustainable development, including the ability to obstruct economic development and legitimate commerce and investment arrangements.
Madam Speaker, our current stability, marked by the notable reduction in violent and gang-related crime, must be defended vigilantly. The moment we permit laxity in our prison management, we invite chaos back into our streets. The Sustainable Island State agenda makes it clear that we cannot grow as a nation unless we are secure. Law and order is the foundation of development. No investor wants to bring money into the country where crime is out of control. No parent wants to raise children in fear. This is why crime reduction is not just a security issue, it's also an economic issue, a public health issue, and a development issue. That is why the bill matters, Madam Speaker. It fits directly into our overall plan to reduce crime, protect families, and create a peaceful future. When we close the gaps in our prison laws, we help stop criminal networks from operating in the shadows, we protect the public, support our security officers, and keep control where it belongs, in the hands of law-abiding citizens.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said persons seeking to violate prison rules and regulations from behind bars and individuals attempting to aid prisoners in any illicit form should not be allowed to continue in that vein. He clearly warned that the newly introduced penalties will be meted out to lawbreakers.
Senator the Honourable Dr. Joel Clark, Minister of Sustainable Development, Environment, Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment of St. Kitts and Nevis, has applauded the CARICOM Environmental and Natural Resources Policy Framework as a landmark document offering significant guidance and unity for the region's environmental goals. Dr. Clark highlighted the policy framework's crucial role in tying national efforts to regional aspirations.
The environmental framework, policy framework presented by CARICOM is so significant because it's directional, it's instructional, and it gives us an overarching guiding framework that allows us to align not just our own policies, and here I reference the Sustainable Island State Agenda that St. Kitts and Nevis has presented as its Vision 2040. It connects our agenda with a broader regional framework. It also allows us to connect our individual projects happening in each ministry, in each department, with what's happening regionally, what the intentions are for us as a unified Caribbean bloc. So we welcome this framework as a guiding principle. It's our Bible of sorts in terms of our environmental ambitions, our climate resilience and sustainability ambitions.
The CARICOM Environmental and Natural Resources Policy Framework provides a blueprint for cooperation among member states, outlining guidelines for the protection, conservation, and sustainable use of the region's critical natural resources. It supports the goals of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas and facilitates the effective operation of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy (CSME). The framework was officially launched at the 118th Special Meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development (COTED) on April 30th in Antigua and Barbuda, where ministers focused extensively on environmental governance and sustainable development. Reflecting on St. Kitts and Nevis's recent steps in ocean management, Dr. Clark underscored the nation's commitment to regional collaboration.
In September 2024, St. Kitts and Nevis signed the Ocean Governance and Coordination Mechanism. And for us, it was a significant step coming out of our participation at SIDS-4, recognizing that we can't solve the challenges related to marine resources, ocean use, and governance alone. And therefore, signing along with other Caribbean and CARICOM member states was critical. And for us, it gives us a regional framework to build our own policies, work towards our own legislative agenda to ensure that we're protecting not just our ocean space, but the regional space.
She further elaborated on the importance of ocean space to the Twin Island Federation.
And it's also a recognition that ocean for us is significant. We are largest in terms of our ocean size. And that's why many of our heads of state have been lobbying for us to be considered as large ocean states, which gives more significance to our expanding size as a region and our expanding individual sizes if you consider our ocean territories.
The launch of the framework and discussions at COTED represent a critical moment for CARICOM as it advances environmental policies that align national ambitions with cohesive regional vision. The accompanying ocean governance mechanism responds to the urgent need for collective management of marine resources, an imperative underscored by the growing threats from climate change and environmental degradation. During the meeting, Minister Clark's remarks to the CARICOM Secretariat Communications Unit highlighted the Federation's proactive stance in environmental stewardship and sustainable ocean-based economic development for resilience and long-term prosperity. St. Kitts and Nevis continues to position itself as a leader within the Caribbean community and as a pivotal large ocean state, advocating for greater recognition and stronger partnerships to safeguard the fragile marine ecosystems and resources vital to the Caribbean's sustainable future. In the latest edition of In Focus, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Minister of Foreign Affairs et al. Of St. Kitts and Nevis, voiced profound concern about the escalating crisis in Haiti, underscoring how the deteriorating security situation continues to thwart democratic developments and the conduct of free and fair elections. His comments bring renewed focus on Haiti's challenges, which remain dire and often overlooked internationally. Addressing the troubling parallels between Haiti's turmoil and the violence in other conflict zones, Dr. Douglas drew attention to the alarming scale of human suffering in the Caribbean nation.
We believe that the situation in Haiti has not advanced in the way that we would have expected it to advance. The security issue in Haiti is still very troubling. The security issue is preventing the consolidation of the democratic changes that we would have expected by way of a secure and fair election regime. Those are not yet achieved. There are concerns as to why they have not been achieved. But in the meantime, we still have advances of gang warfare to the point where if you were to compare the loss of life, killing, what is happening in the Gaza, what is happening in Haiti, the numbers are very similar. People don't understand that. The numbers are similar, and that is not sustainable.
His remarks highlight a stark reality. While the crisis in Haiti is comparable to some of the world's most recognized conflict zones, it often fails to receive commensurate global attention or intervention. The persistent violence marked by fierce gang warfare continues to destabilize governance structures, intimidate voters, and obstruct the long-awaited democratic reforms. Dr. Douglas called for the international community's clear and decisive policy stance, particularly within the United Nations Security Council, to support Haiti's path toward peace and democracy.
So we need to make sure that at the Security Council level, there is clarity as to what is going to be the policy of support by the big boys at the UN for Haiti, because Haiti for us, situation is unacceptable.
Reflecting on Haiti's historical burdens, Minister Douglas referenced the long-standing economic injustices that have compounded the country's challenges.
Do you know what Haiti had to pay to France? Mm-hmm. And so matters like those were discussed in our meeting last week. Somehow we need to engage France and say to France, come on.
More responsibility.
Yes, you have to accept more responsibility for this.
He expressed hope that ongoing diplomatic efforts addressing border disputes and regional tensions would ultimately contribute to stabilizing the area.
And so we're saying, let us wait upon the ongoing activities of solution to these border issues. Let them play out properly. And then hopefully the area would be settling down and we would have more focused attention on our development.
Minister Douglas's comments serve as a sobering reminder that Haiti's crisis is complex and deeply rooted in historical grievances and contemporary security failures. The need for international solidarity, clear policy guidance, and tangible support has never been more urgent to prevent further deterioration and to foster an environment where democratic institutions can take hold. As the global community watches, the call from leadership within the Caribbean region stresses that Haiti's plight demands immediate and coordinated action to restore peace, security, and the promise of democracy for its people. The Honorable Garth Wilkin, Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs and Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis, recently delivered a compelling address at the 34th session of the United Nations Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, CCPCJ, held in Vienna, Austria. The session brings together global policymakers and experts to tackle pressing crime prevention and justice administration issues. In his remarks, Attorney General Wilkin emphasized the unique challenges faced by the Twin Island Federation as a small island developing state contending with limited resources and a range of transnational criminal threats.
The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a twin island paradise in the Caribbean, is honored to contribute to this 34th session and reaffirms our commitment to building equitable and people-centered justice systems through sustained international cooperation.
Acknowledging the capacity constraints faced by the government, Wilkin detailed the Federation's ongoing efforts to combat serious crime, including drug and gun trafficking, through a comprehensive justice reform agenda. Since October 2022, the government has been proactive tabling 83 new laws and successfully passing 72, targeting improvements in court efficiency and the integrity of judicial proceedings. These legislative measures have contributed to a notable reduction in serious crime over the past 7 months.
Further amendments to our criminal records and domestic violence laws have strengthened pathways for rehabilitation and support for victims.
Wilkin highlighted the necessity of sustained investment in institutional capacity building to ensure the reform's success. This includes training legal and judicial personnel, modernizing case management systems, and enhancing victim-centered services, all of which remain ongoing challenges. The government's robust anti-corruption initiatives have also been underscored. Establishing a special prosecutor's office and activating integrity commissions have facilitated a renewed culture of condemnation of corruption in St. Kitts and Nevis. In a clear invitation to the international community, Attorney General Wilkin called for strengthened partnerships to support the Federation's efforts.
In moving from legislation to implementation, we welcome collaborative partnerships and knowledge exchange with the states represented in this room and the UNODC to build sustainable institutional capacity.
Reaffirming the nation's commitment to Sustainable Development Goal 16, which advocates for peace, justice, and strong institutions. Beyond his address, Wilkin engaged with representatives from various states at the conference, keen to partner with St. Kitts and Nevis on their ambitious criminal justice reform journey. He stressed the importance of such international collaboration, emphasizing the necessity of building a sustainable island state and maintaining regional calm amid evolving security challenges. This proactive stance by St. Kitts and Nevis highlights the Federation's determination to advance justice reforms, address complex criminal threats, and contribute meaningfully to global efforts to uphold human rights and accountability. The ongoing commitment of the government and people stands as an example for other small island developing states facing similar vulnerabilities.
With the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Llewellyn Douglas benighted in 2026, the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis are on standby. During Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew's very interactive address to the delegates at the 93rd Annual National Convention of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party on May 19, 2025, the audience excitedly recommended that the former Prime Minister Dr. Douglas be knighted, backed by louder cheers and whistleblows.
I asked the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Marcella Liebert, when is it? It will be St. Kitts and Nevis's turn for us to be able to bestow such an honor on a well-deserving citizen. And she confirmed to me that the year would be in 2026. My question to you tonight, if you think I have the opportunity to bestow such a high honor on a well-deserving citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, who do you think that person should be? Comrades, I don't think you heard me well. Comrades, you have not heard me well. I can't hear you well. I can't hear you well. You have to stand up and say. You have to stand up and tell me so that I can hear it well. If the king, I have to write back to the king and to tell the king on which citizen I should recommend that high honor bestowed. Who do you think that person should be? 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 Comrades, I think that you're making a strong and correct recommendation tonight, and your recommendation to me will be taken very seriously. Comrades, I have heard you. Conference 2025 has heard you. You have made your strong recommendation. And therefore, as your humble servant, I have no choice but to take your recommendation in the highest regards.
The Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas is the longest-serving Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis to date, serving from 1995 to 2015. He also served as the leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party from 1989 to 2021 and leader of the parliamentary opposition from 2015 to 2022. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Drew said a conversation between him and King Charles III about knighting another citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis was had during his visit to the monarch's Sandringham estate in January 2025. So moved was he by the King's recollection of Sir Robert Bratcher's legacy, Prime Minister Drew said the service and sacrifice of the leaders should never be forgotten.
But it is a principle of labor. We must never, ever forget our leaders. We must always hold our leaders in the highest esteem, because they would have sacrificed, they would have given up themselves. And in true character of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, we never ever forget our people.
In a statement issued on May 17, 2025, James Sutner, Commissioner of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, took time to clarify a variety of pressing issues currently affecting the Federation's security environment, concluding with a call for truth and responsible communication from the public. Commissioner Sutton began by underscoring the gravity of the misinformation in today's fast-paced information age. A central point of clarification involved rumors circulating about missing ammunition allegedly stored by the police. Commissioner Sutton categorically refuted these claims.
Firstly, with respect to the rumor of missing ammunition, I categorically state that no ammunition has ever gone missing from the police-operated cache. Since 2010, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force Nevis Division has been storing ammunition on behalf of the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department. This long-standing arrangement worked efficiently. Ammunition was used by the police and replenished as necessary in accordance with operational needs. Although the brand of replacement rounds occasionally differed, the caliber of the ammunition remained the same. This has never posed a concern, nor will it ever. The storage arrangement was officially discontinued earlier in 2025 as it was no longer deemed necessary. The claim that any ammunition went missing is entirely false. Whoever introduced such a dangerous and malicious narrative into the public sphere has demonstrated a blatant and callous disregard for national security, public confidence, and our nation's reputation.
This firm rebuke highlights the delicate balance between maintaining public trust and safeguarding national security, particularly in an environment where social media and rapid information exchanges can fuel misinformation swiftly. Commissioner Sutton also announced a significant technological advancement to strengthen the force's accountability and operational efficiency.
Looking ahead, I am pleased to announce that the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force has taken decisive steps to modernize all firearm-related administrative processes. In keeping with the government's thrust towards digital transformation, the force has enlisted the services of a programmer to develop an integrated digital system for managing firearms. The new system will oversee the full spectrum of firearm processes, including civilian firearm license applications, police firearm and ammunition storage, and the recording of ammunition usage. When completed, this new development will mark a significant step forward in accountability and efficiency.
In addition to addressing operational matters, the Commissioner acknowledged long-standing infrastructural challenges faced by the police stations throughout the Federation, particularly noting that many facilities were disrepair when he assumed office in February 2023.
When I assumed the role of Commissioner of Police in February 2023, I met widespread infrastructural deficiencies across most police facilities in St. Kitts and a few on Nevis. Without wasting any time, my High Command and I set to the monumental task of repairing, refurbishing, and in some cases, completely rebuilding the worst of our facilities. In 2 short years, I am pleased to announce that the construction of a brand new Charlestown police station is 1 month away from completion. Additionally, the construction of a new headquarters for the traffic department, which will be temporarily shared with the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services, is nearing completion.
Several other police stations are undergoing upgrades, with particular attention paid to the persistent sewage issue at the Bastia Police Station.
The sewage issue at the Bastia Police Station, which is interconnected with His Majesty's Prison, remains one of our most pressing concerns. While regular servicing is undertaken by Waste Management Services, The aged infrastructure continuously presents numerous ongoing challenges. Given that the prison was constructed in 1840 during the British colonial period, a permanent solution may not come quickly and in truth may not be attainable. Nonetheless, I assure the public and more importantly my officers that every effort is being made on our part to mitigate this issue.
Commissioner Sutton expressed profound gratitude for the resilience of officers working under such difficult conditions. The Commissioner strongly appealed to the public regarding social media conduct and the importance of accuracy in information sharing.
I must also appeal to all users of social media to adopt a greater sense of national responsibility. In an age where information spreads rapidly, I urge all citizens to verify facts before sharing posts, comments, or messages. The harmful effects of misinformation are often not fully appreciated until one becomes the victim of such. It is in our best interests as a people, both individually and collectively, to strive to preserve the truth.
Emphasizing the force's commitment to impartial service and accountability, Commissioner Sutton reiterated that the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force serves all without fear or favor.
Let it also be known that the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force serves all members of the public without fear or favor and regardless of race, color, creed, or political affiliation. When a citizen calls for assistance, we are duty-bound to respond. Where members of the public feel that an officer has failed to perform this duty, there is not only a right but also a civic duty to report such conduct to the Forces Department of Professional Standards.
This department plays a crucial role in maintaining integrity within the force through thorough investigations and disciplinary measures.
The Department of Professional Standards is tasked with investigating administrative and procedural complaints made against police officers. Every week, internal tribunals are conducted where officers must account for their actions. Disciplinary measures include, but are not limited to, suspension, open arrest, salary deduction, and in some cases, referral to the Police Service Commission for dismissal. I take the matter of justice seriously, both within the force and in service to the wider public.
Commissioner Sutton reaffirmed his commitment to public safety and thanked the community for its ongoing cooperation. The statement from the Commissioner encapsulates the challenges and progress within the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force while reminding citizens of their essential role in fostering a safe and united society. You were listening to the Week in Review here on WINN FM 98.9. Thank you for listening and have a productive week.